So you're an indie author and you just published a book. Congratulations, celebrate, that's an amazing milestone and you should be so proud of yourself. However, I do know that a lot of indie authors dream about having their books on the shelves of bookstores one day. So today I thought let's take a look at the different strategies there are in order to get your book into bookstores. Hi, I'm Nikki, the owner of a creative agency helping authors with various author services, as well as creating content that will help you achieve your author dreams. So, getting your book into a bookstore as an indie author. I think a lot of you dream about this, and I think a lot of you believe that this is an impossible goal and undertaking, but I'm here to tell you that actually it's far from impossible. It's difficult, but definitely achievable with the right strategy and persistence. So the first thing we should do here is we should start understanding the challenges that indie authors face when trying to get their books into bookstores. Sadly, there is still a lot of judgment and stigma around indie authors, causing a lot of people in the world not to take them seriously. And this happens with all kinds of indie art, which I think is absolutely stupid because indie art is and can be incredibly wonderful. But that causes bookstores to be quite hesitant on putting indie books on their shelves. And this has a number of reasons. So let's look at these reasons individually now. The first reason for hesitation in bookstores is just as simple as sales expectations. A bookstore is a business. They rely on income, and therefore they aim at consistent sales all the time. Now, a famous author, an already published author, or an author that is just simply backed by a publisher is going to ensure quicker turnover in the eyes of bookstores. The second reason for hesitation is logistics. Every single business, bookstores as well, are going to prefer simple and quick methods. So they will, for their ordering processes of books to have a stock in the store, will rely on large distributors and will usually not really be into having, separate individual deals with individual authors. Now, this next reason is more specific for indie bookstores, and that is genre base. These bookstores that sell books in a specific genre know their audiences very well, and they won't really want to stock a book that doesn't align with their audience and their audience's needs. The next reason for hesitation is kind of the same as the first one, and it comes down basically to economics. Especially independent bookstores, they will operate with very tight margins and therefore are going to be very cautious when taking a risk. So you're faced with this big challenge that published authors and authors backed by publishers don't really have to do as much, and that is proving yourself. And as an indie author, you probably already know that you kind of need to go the extra mile to prove yourself. You want to demonstrate the potential of your book and your story to justify taking up shelf space in these bookstores, and you also want to make sure that your book looks professional. So what steps do you need to take to prove yourself to bookstores and justify your book being on their shelves? Step number one is you must make an attractive deal. Now, to make an attractive deal, you firstly want to make sure that the ordering process and just the whole process of working with you as an author is easy, simple, and seamless for the bookstore itself. One of the things that you can do is you can publish through a recognized large distributor. One example for a recognized large distributor where indie authors can easily publish their books is Ingram Spark, but there's a ton of other ones out there. Do your research, choose the one that you want to work with, and just go for it. Now, Ingram Spark is the most popular one, and having your book published on there is going to dramatically increase your chances of fixing a deal with a bookstore. Now, why is that? It's very simple. Ingram Spark is a printer and a distributor at the same time. Using Ingram Spark is going to enable your book to appear on systems that bookstores use for ordering their books. And plus, a lot of bookstores have accounts with Ingram Spark already, making the ordering process super easy, quick, and simple. Now, another thing you can do to make your deal even more attractive is setting a wholesale discount. Bookstores are generally going to expect some kind of discount. Obviously, this is going to cut into your earnings as an author, but having your book on the shelves of bookstores is going to increase your chances of being seen by new potential readers that wouldn't find you otherwise, therefore making more sales, therefore your income actually being more, than it would be if you didn't have your books in that store. It's an investment. Step number 2 is to make sure that you have an ISBN code. An ISBN code is an international standard book number, and it is essential when you want to publish a book, whether it's online or in stores. This is a unique identification code that your book and the edition of your book is going to have. Why is this code important? First of all, it's mandatory. Second of all, this will allow bookstores to find your book on systems that they use for ordering. You can purchase it through your country's ISBN agency, or if you're already publishing through Amazon KDP, which most indie authors are, and they should be, you can have an ISBN code created on that platform itself, which is just going to make it very easy for you. Step number 3 is to utilize expanded distribution. Now, this is a feature that Amazon KDP offers to authors that publish through their platform. It basically helps you reach a larger number of readers through online platforms, bookstores, libraries, online retailers, etc. So how does it work? Well, expanded distribution is going to allow your paperback to be purchased by large distributors that work together with bookstores and libraries. Therefore, your book becomes more accessible, and that is going to make your book more attractive for bookstores to have it on stock. Now, there are some requirements and rules when you want to enroll in expanded distribution. It would be way too long to go over all of them right now, but here are some of the most important ones. First of all, sadly, expanded distribution, as of right now, is only available for paperbacks, so you cannot do it with hardcovers. As well as some of the requirements being your book having to be published on either amazon.co.uk or amazon.com, or both. There are certain content and formatting guidelines you need to follow, and you need to have distribution rights in the UK and or in the US. Now, obviously, enrolling your book in KDP's expanded distribution isn't automatically going to ensure that bookstores are going to stock your books. You will still need to go through the process of reaching out to these stores yourself and convincing them, but it will dramatically increase your chances of your offer being met with a yes. Step number 4 is you should research and target specific bookstores. I know the temptation is there to be stocked on the shelves of huge stores that carry every bestseller book ever, but the reality is that at first, when you try to get your book into a store, you kind of want to dial it down a little bit. You want to research bookstores and you want to target independent bookstores, especially ones that are carrying books in the genre that you write in. Also, you shouldn't spread yourself too thin at the beginning. Try to find 2 or 3 bookstores that you really want to work with and just go for those ones first. And then later on, you can add another one and another one and another one. Don't try to target every single bookstore you can name and just go for them all at once. Now, step number 5 is going to be to build a relationship with these bookstores. After having chosen the bookstores you want to work with, you want to approach them, and you want to do this in the right way. You want to go to the bookstore, bring a couple of copies of your book as well as a sell sheet. This sell sheet being a piece of paper that contains all the important information about your book and the deal that you're offering to the bookstore. So this should include essential details like ISBN codes, wholesale discounts, retail price, the blurb of your book, really every important information that you want to discuss with them in person, but leave that sheet behind so they can look back on it later on. Now, you went to the bookstore, you had a face-to-face meeting with them, it went really well. What do you want to do next? You don't just want to go home, forget about it, and wait for them to reach out to you. Wait about a week, maybe a week and a half, and then draft up an email contacting them once more. And in this email, you should include that you visited them, the conversation you had, summarize what you guys talked about, include the sell sheet one more time, maybe a picture of your book so they know which book it's all about, and reach out to them again. Now, if you don't have the chance to visit the bookstore in person, then this email can be your first step in contacting them as well. Step number 6 is to be open to consignment deals. This might sound scary, but it's actually one of the most common ways that indie authors end up getting their books into bookstores. How does this work? Well, when you sign a consignment deal, you provide the books to the bookstore up front, so they don't order it through a large distributor, but you have it printed wherever and you provide the book for them. They will put it on their shelves and sell it for an agreed period of time, let's say 4 months, and they take a percentage of the profits made of the sales, let's say 40%. At the end of this 4 months, any unsold copies are going to be returned back to you. If this consignment deal is successful, it can actually lead to a longer lasting working relationship with the bookstore and more attractive deals to you as an author with them. Step number 7 is exploring alternative channels. Now let's say you've done everything you could, you have refined your strategies, you have refined the things you've done, but it's just not happening. You just keep getting rejected and you're kind of losing hope that it will ever happen again. But first of all, don't give up, just keep going. It will happen. But you can also, in the meantime, start thinking a little bit more out of the box and have strategies and ways of getting your book out there to bigger audiences through different channels, therefore increasing your visibility as an author and also increasing your chances of a bookstore that said no previously saying yes again. Now, what are some other things that you can do? You could start selling your book at local markets or events. You rent a stall, you go there with your copies, and you sell the books in person. This is a great way to actually engage with new readers in person and just stand there as an author and show who you are. Another great thing that you can do is try to get your book into a library. And actually, a lot of libraries are very much open to having indie books in their shelves. So it's a great way to increase your reach. And then, of course, online platforms. As an indie author, you probably are firstly going to be publishing on online platforms. You just really want to make sure that your books are published in the correct way with the right methods on Amazon KDP, Ingram Spark, Barnes & Noble, and any other indie-friendly online platform where you can sell your book. Step number 8 is to build a strong marketing plan, because the right marketing strategy can make your book irresistible to bookstores. Firstly, you want to have a professional presentation, and by this I mean a presentation of your book. I cannot stress enough how important this is. A polished book cover, correct formatting, these are such essential parts of your publishing journey. Have professionals help you with this, because a bookstore is a lot more likely to actually stock your book if your book meets industry standards. I can tell you right now, no matter how good your story is, if the presentation of your book doesn't meet industry standards, you're just continually going to keep getting a no, and a no. Now, you also want to make sure that you create enough media coverage around yourself as an author and the book you're publishing or the books that you're publishing. This may sound very far-fetched and very difficult to do, but it's actually pretty easy. Just engaging with podcasts, blog posts, creators online that are in the book community is going to help you create buzz around your book. You don't only want your social media platforms to perform well and be active and showcase yourself as an author and the books you're working on. You also want to engage with people in these social media platforms that are within the industry, so other indie authors and also readers. Because if you engage with them correctly, not only are you going to be part of a super fun community, you meet new people, make amazing lifelong friends, but you guys are also going to start to cross-promote each other, and that is going to create more buzz around you and your work, therefore being more seen. And finally, step number 9 is to be persistent. This is probably one of the most important steps, because persistence is the only thing that you need to do in order to get your book into a bookstore eventually. Remember that rejection is going to happen. It is a very annoying but very normal part of the process. And every time you get rejected, just tell yourself that this no just took me one step closer to that first yes that's gonna kickstart everything for me. So you just want to keep refining your approach. You want to be open for critique and feedback. You want to continue to discover new opportunities and just keep going for it. Fake it till you make it. One of the most cliche quotes out there, but honestly, it is so true. And if there is one thing I know for sure, is that if you keep persistence up and you keep fighting for your goals and dreams, then you're going to get there. You are going to get your book into a bookstore. Because remember, when you started writing this book, or when you first had the idea to write this book, You probably thought, I'm never gonna finish it, I'm never gonna post it online, I'm never gonna publish it, it's not gonna be good. But I'm pretty sure that you actually went through with it. You managed to write it, you managed to publish it, so why wouldn't you be able to manage to get it in a bookstore? Believe in yourself. And that's it. These are the steps that I think that you should take, and these are the strategies that I think you should follow in order to get your book into a bookstore. Let me know if this video was helpful for you in any other way. And also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. Also, I post videos regularly about writing and publishing tips, all for you to help you make your author dreams come true. So make sure to check out my other videos, subscribe, and follow me on my other socials. Do you need help with getting your book polished and out there? Well, then take a look at my website or on my Instagram. I have a list of services that I offer for indie authors, all in order to make their author dreams come true. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!